Why did you do it? Oh, come on, there are no witnesses. You can tell me. Why did you have her murdered?
There's no chance of you being believed, you know that.
Oh, I wouldn't accuse you of anything. Not unless I had solid proof.
Well, there's no chance of that. Because I didn't do anything.
You know, when the cops get around to thinking about it, they'll realise it had to be someone like you. Because nobody else knew exactly when she was being released.
Well, you did. Or don't you count?
Oh. You know, around here I've got quite a reputation for being able to read these things. Ah. I can see someone making a phone call. And the arm holding the phone seems to be in some kind of uniform. Silly, isn't it? But then I'm sure you're much too intelligent to believe in that sort of mark.
What happened?
Oh, I dropped a cup, that's all.
Well, I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Do you want another one?
Yes, good. Strong and black I could do with a lift.
You seem a bit tense.
Tense? What do you expect with what's been going on? I'm waiting for you to make up your mind if you're going to marry me or not.
Oh, Terry. You told me you'd give me time to make that decision. Please don't try and hurry me. I won't be rushed into marrying you.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, have you heard anything about Barnhurst?
No, but that doesn't worry me. Things like that always take time.
Yeah, it seems everything takes time.
Look, Terry, I'm sorry I'm making you wait for an answer. It's just that it's such an important decision.
Well, it doesn't seem much point in talking about it until you've made up your mind, does it? I've got work to do.
Hey, Inspector Harrison.
What did you say?
Nothing much. Just asked him why he killed Kathy.
Strike a light.
How did he react to that one?
Yeah, he played it real cool. Still, I reckon we're dead right. There's something funny about him.
How do you mean?
Don't know exactly. He looks like he's under a lot of strain. I reckon he might blow it any minute.
Well, accusing him of murder isn't exactly going to help, is it?
How do you reckon old Vinegar stands in this? Do you reckon she's got a hand in it?
Oh, I don't know. I think Vera would draw the line at murder.
But do you think she knows about him? I haven't seen them talking to each other lately.
Well, I don't think she's going to tell us if we ask her, do you?
Well, you could ask her. You could go up to her and you could say, "Excuse me, Miss Bennett, but do you know that your boyfriend is a murderer?"
Hey, listen, anyway. I want you to spread the word. We are going to have to be very careful. You know, staying in pairs, that sort of thing.
Can't get rid of the lot of us, B.
Listen, love, if he blows, and I reckon he's going to, there's no telling what he might do.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to be careful.
And we're going to have to keep the pressure up until he breaks, without any of us getting hurt in the process. I think we are dealing with a very dangerous bloke.
I've finished that. What would you like me to do now?
Oh, I wish you could help me with this typing. I seem to have got behind.
Yes, I wish I could too. I spoke to Mrs. Davidson about it. She said she was going to ask you, but I suppose she's been too busy.
Yes, I'd say so. Listen, from time to time when things quieten down a bit, I'll give you some typing lessons if you like.
Oh, would you?
Yes.
I'd really appreciate that.
Oh, I'll give you the secretarial crash course.
That'd be wonderful, Wendy. Thank you.
Do not address Miss Scott by her first name, Paige. Just remember your position here.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
Would you take these cards over to the counter? Thank you, Alison.
And you should know better than gossiping with a prisoner. Her name is Paige, not Alison.
I can't work with the woman all day and call her by her surname. It just sounds dreadful.
That's beside the point. She's a prisoner, and you should treat her as such. She shouldn't be working out here, not if I had my say.
Well, Mrs. Davidson obviously feels otherwise.
Mrs. Morris rang earlier. She wants to pick up these files. Have them ready for her.
Wentworth Detention Centre. One moment, please. Miss Bennett, it's for you, Mr. Douglas.
Vera Bennett speaking. Well, thank you for letting me know, Mr. Douglas. Yes. Thank you. Goodbye. With a bit of luck, you won't have to put up with me for much longer. Then the department will see how a prison should be run.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Carter, but I've had a pretty full day.
Yes, I've been trying to contact you all afternoon.
Please sit down.
Thank you. I won't be able to stay very long, Mr. Page.
Been some trouble at the school? Something to do with Chris?
Yes, it has. Until recently, Chris has been a model pupil. He's got up to the odd prank or two, of course, but nothing serious. However, lately...
Oh, he has been under a lot of strain.
Yes, I do know about your circumstances. They're very unfortunate.
Oh, he's not coping with it very well, I'm afraid.
No, he certainly isn't. In fact, he's become one of our most difficult pupils. Mr. Williamson, his form teacher, has done his best to help him.
Oh, Mr. Williamson came to see me.
Yes, but sad to say, Chris seems to resist all efforts at help. And now he's just gone too far.
What do you mean, what happened?
Today, Chris lost his head entirely and struck Mr. Williamson.
Struck him?
Punched him in the face, I'm afraid. After the incident, he ran away and he hasn't returned.
Maybe he's here. Chris? Chris, are you there? Well, he doesn't appear to have been home.
No, I'm not surprised. After such an incident, he's probably afraid to face anybody. In the state he was in, I'd say he's probably run away from school and from home.
Hey, Greg.
Go, Mr. Page.
Have you seen Chris today?
Well, not since he shot through at school.
Any idea where he's gone?
No.
Did he say anything before he left?
He just said he was never coming back.
Where would you go under the same circumstances?
Gee, I'd still be running. He really went bananas, Mr. Page.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Greg. If you see him, tell him to come home, will you?
Sure.
Hello, Wendy. Thought you'd be gone by now.
Just leaving. And I can't say I'll be sorry to get away from the place.
And I know quite a few women who'd agree with you. I rang Vera earlier about some files I want to take home and study tonight.
They're right here.
Thanks. How's Alison Page making out?
Very well. Picks things up quickly.
Oh, that's good. I thought she'd be able to handle the job.
It's a pity some of the prison officers don't have your attitude towards the women.
Off you go, Wendy. I'll hold the fort until the night shift comes on.
Thanks, Mr. Fletcher.
See you soon. Good night.
Night.
Heard anything more about Kathy Hall's death, Jim?
No, not yet.
Do they still think someone from here was involved?
I don't know.
Well, it's a bit fishy, isn't it? I mean, if it was deliberate.
Well, I don't see why. I mean, once the word was out that she was being paroled, they could have been watching the place for days.
I suppose that's true.
Hello, Meg. Can't keep away from the place.
Seems that way. Oh, thanks for these files.
Yes, I had Wendy have them ready for you.
Well, you're looking pretty pleased with yourself.
Am I? Well, I don't think it'll hurt to tell you. Mr. Douglas rang to tell me that the selection committee has drawn up a shortlist for the Barnhurst job. Only 3 names. I'm one of them.
Vera, that's wonderful.
Yes, congratulations, Vera. That's 3-to-1 odds. That's pretty good.
I have to go in for the last round of interviews in the morning.
Well, good luck. And don't be nervous.
Oh, don't worry. I've waited too long to mess it up now.
Yeah, good luck, Vera.
Thank you. I'll let you know how I get on.
Good night.
Night.
Haven't seen Harrison all day. Reckon he's skipping out of our way?
That could be.
I wish I knew which way he was going to jump.
Oh, this news is all bad news. Do you mind if I change the channel, B?
Yeah, go ahead, love. I wasn't listening anyway. Okay. Let's see if we can burst his little bubble this time.
Yeah, well, he's not going to try anything with all of us around, is he?
Well, just in time for the end of the news.
Ellie, anything interesting?
Not really. Just a lot of people getting killed. Still, that's hardly news, is it? You only have to look outside your front gate to see that happening these days.
Yeah. Now, how's that murder investigation going?
You got it all wrong, Bright. It's not murder. It's a hit and run.
Oh, yeah? An accident, you reckon?
Probably.
Bit of a coincidence, isn't it? I mean, after all the things that happened to Kathy in here.
A huge coincidence, I'd say. Wouldn't you, Mr. Harrison?
No, Smith. I wouldn't say anything unless I knew what I was talking about.
Well, didn't exactly do his nana, did he?
Don't you bet on it. He could go up any minute.
I tried to call you at home, but your husband said you were probably there.
Yes, I can imagine how he said it, too. Well, what can I do for you, Don?
Chris got into trouble at school today. He's run away. I've looked everywhere for him. I just don't know what to do.
Look, I think I better come over straight away.
Thanks. I'm sorry to bother you like this. I just need any help I can get.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
Thanks.
Oh, that poor man. Everything seems to happen to him at once.
Well, his wife should have thought of that before she went out and did the shoplifting.
Bob? Darling, I'm sorry. I know it's already late, but I do have to stop off somewhere on my way home.
I can't think of anywhere else to look for him. He's probably walking the streets somewhere.
Well, I think you should call the police.
I don't want to if I can avoid it. Well, if I bring the police in, it'll probably make him feel worse. Besides, he could get charged with assault.
Well, I'm sure his teacher wouldn't want to press charges. But of course, Chris doesn't know that. Have you any relatives or anyone he'd go to?
Not that I can think of. Well, besides, they would have contacted me by now.
Yes, I suppose they would have. Did he have any money?
Well, probably not. He doesn't usually take any to school with him.
No money. Probably hungry. And nowhere to sleep. Don, I think you should call the police. They'd have a much better chance of finding him than you have.
Yes, I know, but...
Look, the fact that your wife's in Wentworth won't make any difference if that's what's worrying you. You have all the rights of any other citizen.
Yes, of course. I'll call them if Chris isn't back by tomorrow. Thanks, Mrs. Morris. Funny, isn't it? Things don't seem so bad now I've talked to you about it.
Okay. I'll see you.
3 ladies. I always was one for the ladies.
Oh, I always prefer blokes myself. 3 kings.
Oh, no.
3 bloody 5. 3? What do you want to look on Kings for?
Well, it's a nice friendly game. Besides, you already owe me 20 fags.
Struth, I wish it was by up tomorrow. I should ask Dor to get some on hers.
Yeah, well, she should be getting out tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, and I hope she gets the sense to keep away from Paige when she does.
Well, she'll be going to get her, won't she? She's in isolation.
Oh, well, they'll be keeping her away from us until she gets out of here, that is.
I hope not. I want her here, where I can use her. She might get lonely.
Yeah, it's rotten to be alone. Oh, I wish I didn't have to wait to see Sid till the weekends.
Oh, come on, Lizzie, it's only 5 days.
5 days? That's for bloody ever.
What a wonderful way to start the day.
Of course it is. And that's because I'm so good looking.
I'll second that. Well, we got one more day left together. What'll we do?
Well, I was going to start to work in here, but you seem to have done it all, Sid.
Oh, just pottering around. Yeah. No, I stopped after I did a few things in your room. Yeah, of course, the garden could do with a bit of work.
Well, we'll both start working in there together. As long as you promise me that you won't overdo it.
Oh, I don't reckon there's much chance of that, Elizabeth, not with you around. You know, you turned real bossy lately.
Oh, Sid, it is so lovely being here with you.
Oh, I was just going to make another couple. Would you like one?
I can make my own, thank you.
Heard anything more about the Barnhurst job?
Nothing more.
They're taking their time, aren't they?
Yes?
Not the only ones. Look, Vera, I don't want to sound pushy, but I've given you plenty of time to think about it.
I'm sorry, I just haven't made up my mind.
Well, how long's it going to take? Until you find out about the Barnhurst job. And if you don't get that, I'm the booby price, is that it?
Don't be silly.
Vera, Barnhurst is a long way away. You might even have to move there.
Yes, I probably will.
Well, that'd be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? I mean, I'll be working here, you'll be there.
You could apply to a transfer to Barnhurst.
Work under you mean?
Do you think that's such a bad idea? I don't see that there's much point in us discussing marriage.
Look, Vera, you don't have to take this job. I mean, we can get married.
I want that job, Terry.
Oh, I see. And if you get the job, we're finished. Is that it?
Look, I haven't really...
Well, that's what it boils down to, doesn't it?
Is the coffee still warm?
Yes.
Everything all right?
What?
Well, Terry seems a bit upset. Still no news about the Barnhurst job, eh?
No, and I wish people would stop asking me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought that, well, they would have informed the person they've chosen by now. Knowing the department, you'll probably get a Dear John letter about a year from today.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Just because Mr. Douglas doesn't think you're governor material.
Oh, come on, Vera.
Well, I'm going to get that job, and I'm going to be damn good at it. I've been held back here too long by the mediocre officers above me. I'm going to become a force to be reckoned with in the department, and nothing or no one can stop me.
Oh, that looks delicious, Elizabeth.
Be better than the stuff they serve us at Wentworth.
Yeah, I wish we could get you out of there. You haven't heard any more about your parole application, have you?
No, Mrs. Morris has been really trying. It's that bloody department. They keep on stalling.
There's nothing I can do, is there?
I don't see what.
Well, you know, if we did get married, it might make a difference.
Let's not go all over that again, Sid. Probably wouldn't make any difference anyway. The department don't care about people or how they feel.
Well, we'll just have to be patient then. Well, we'll be together in the end.
Of course we will. They can't keep me inside forever. Oh, Sid, I'm so happy to be here.
You have any news on Chris yet?
No, I'm afraid we haven't. I just called by to let you know that we're circulating Chris's photo interstate.
How would he have got interstate?
Well, it's possible he hitched a ride with the truckie. That's the usual story. So we're checking the trucking companies with his photo.
What do you do? I've spent days searching for him. Let my business go completely.
Why don't you leave it up to us now, Mr. Page? We're doing everything we can.
You can't just sit around and do nothing. Anything could have happened to Chris by now.
Oh, he's probably managed to look after himself very well. Don't worry. If he gets hungry enough, he'll contact you.
Yeah.
No more than an hour of this, Sid.
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, I think I might give this old bloke a bit of a facelift.
Cool. He looks older than me. Sid Humphrey, don't you dare try and lift that. It's too heavy for you.
Well, I can manage. You don't mind it going as far as the shed so as I can paint it.
You're not taking it anywhere. If you're going to paint it, you leave it there where it stands. It's too heavy.
I'm not that helpless.
I didn't say you were helpless. Even a young bloke could get a hernia trying to lift that.
Yeah, all right. You're the boss.
Of course I am. Or the boss would like a cup of tea. How about you?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'll just pop in and put the kettle on.
So where do you think you're off to, Hunt?
Back to the laundry. I had to go to the dunny.
You got permission from the officer on duty in the laundry?
Well, there wasn't no one there when I left.
Oh, I see. So you think you can go wandering around as you like? You know damn well you got to get permission before you leave.
Well, I had to go to the toot.
You know the rules, stick to them. You people think you can do what you like. Well, you're going to learn different.
Yes, Mr. Harrison.
All right, get going. Hey, wait a minute. If you leave without permission again, you'll be on loss of privileges.
Yes, Mr. Harrison. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he's all fired up, isn't he?
Scared stiff, especially after what Bea said.
Well, Bea also told you not to get caught alone with him.
It wasn't my fault. I just ran into him.
Yeah, I know that, honey, but you're going to have to be more careful. And he's a desperate man. You don't know what he's going to do. Come on, love, we better tell Bea.
Dear Sid, what's the matter?
Oh, I just got a bit out of breath, that's all. There's nothing to worry
What
about.
have you been doing?
Oh, nothing, I shouldn't.
No. I suppose that bloody thing walked over here by itself, did it?
Well, it was a bit heavier than I thought.
Oh, Sid, when are you going to learn that you can't keep doing things like that?
Oh, now, Elizabeth, don't remind me. I hate it.
Oh, I know, love. But why won't you listen to me? I know that we're not getting any younger, but we can still enjoy ourselves, just so long as you take a bit more care.
Yeah, you're right, Elizabeth. I won't do anything I shouldn't anymore.
Can I take that as a promise?
Yeah, I promise. Don't want you running out of me, do I?
I'll remind you of that in 10 years' time. Come on now. We'll have our cuppa.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do we have to get old?
Yeah. Life can do a bit of a bugger sometimes, can't it?
I don't like being out here.
Well, the interview room's being used, so you don't have much choice if you want to see your husband.
But what about the other women?
Well, there's none out in the garden this time of the day. You don't have anything to worry about. There he is.
Don, what's wrong? You look awful.
There's been some trouble at home, Mum.
What sort of trouble? Has something happened to one of the children?
It's Chris, love. He's run away from home. I've been trying to find him for days.
Well, why didn't you let me know straight away?
I was hoping he'd come back before I had to tell you. It's been hell, Alison.
Did you ring the police?
They're looking for him.
Why did he run away? Is it because of me? Is he so ashamed of me?
Of course not. It's something that happened at school. Nothing to do with you.
Oh, Don, it's all such a mess.
You know, it's funny, but I still keep hearing bells ringing, telling me to get up, wash, eat, go to bed. It'll seem strange doing things in my own time. Sid? I must be getting real boring in me old age. I've got to be getting back soon. Sid? Wake up, love. Sid? Sid?
Erica Davidson? Birdsworth. Oh, put her on, please. Hello, Lizzy. You're rather late, aren't you? You should be on your way back.
I won't be able to come back there tonight, Mrs. Davidson.
Why, Lizzy? Has something happened? Miss Bennett, I'm just about to leave. I shall be calling in to Sid Humphrey's place on the way if you need me. Thank you.
Doctor! Oh, Miss Bennett, could I ring my husband, please, and see if there's any news of my son?
You can't use the phone at this time of night.
But he's run away from home. Don might have heard something by now.
Wait till morning. You can have your call then.
Oh, please, Miss Bennett, you don't know what it's like being cut off from your family. I can't bear to think of him being out there on his own. He's only a child. Anything might happen.
All right, pull yourself together. You can have your phone call.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. Thank you.
I hope you realise it's just this once. We're not running a motel here. You can't just call room service when you feel like it.
Chris always liked this show.
Yeah.
Daddy, if Chris hasn't got any money, how will he get food?
I don't know, Susan. But he'll manage. Pretty smart bloke, that brother of yours.
He won't steal it, will he? If he gets caught, he'll end up in jail like...
Chris is not going to go to jail.
We never thought Mummy would either, did we?
Chris is too young to go to jail.
But he'd still be in trouble with the police.
But don't talk like that. He's not in any form of trouble. He's all right. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I didn't mean to get irritable with you.
That's all right, Daddy.
We've got to stick together, you and I. Whatever happens, we've both got to be here when Mummy comes home.
Chris, too. He'll be home soon, I know he will.
Oh, that sounds right. Hello?
It's me, Don. I just had to know if there's been any news about Chris.
Not a thing so far. I rang the police when I got back home. They said they'd call me as soon as they could find him. It shouldn't be too long.
But you don't know that. You don't know what's happened to him.
He's 15, Alison. He's not a baby. He knows how to look after himself.
Can I speak to Mummy?
Susan wants to speak with you. Yeah, I know. I'm sure Chris is all right. Yeah, yes, darling, I'll try and see you as soon as possible. Here's Susan.
Hello, Mummy.
Hello, darling. How's Mummy's little girl?
I'm fine, but I'm missing Chris and you. I want you both to come home.
It won't be much longer now, darling. And when Mummy gets home, she's not going to leave you again. Ever.
Come on, Paige, you've had long enough.
I have to go now, darling. Give Daddy a big hug and a kiss for me. Yes, I will. As soon as I can. Bye, darling.
Lizzy, what's the matter? What's happened? We'll have to call a doctor.
He's gone, Mrs. Davidson. No point in calling a doctor now.
I know, but we'll have to let the authorities know. I'll do everything that needs to be done.
Just as I thought. Birdsworth goes missing, so Mrs. Davidson has to go looking for her. Well, I hope this puts a stop to all this day-release nonsense. Well, what happened, Mrs. Davidson? Birdsworth up to her old tricks again?
No. Mr. Humphrey died this evening.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I want you to be very gentle with Birdsworth. It must have been a terrible shock for her.
Yes, of course.
There's no need to put her through the usual readmittance procedure. Just take her straight to her cell.
Very well, Mrs. Davidson. Come along, Birdsworth.
Are you sure you'll be all right, Lizzy?
Oh, Lizzy, you're back.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit like getting back tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, a little. Couldn't tear yourself away, eh? I had to say goodbye.
I know. You're sillier than a couple of teenagers. We thought you'd eloped.
Chris! You want some more?
Might have a bit later.
How long since you've had any food?
Oh, I managed to get something now and then.
How?
I hung around the food stalls at the markets and toss out a lot of stuff at the end of the day.
Chris, you didn't steal anything?
No, I didn't, Dad, honest.
Where'd you sleep?
In derelict houses. There are quite a few of them around once you start looking for them.
Still don't understand quite
Do you
why...
mind if we talk about it later? You know, right now I'd just like to forget about it.
I'm glad you're home.
I didn't know how you'd be. I thought you might go through the roof or something.
Don't be too confident. I still might. Tomorrow. Tonight? I'm glad you're back.
You know, the worst thing about it was not having anywhere to wash. I'm dying for a shower.
You can have one in a minute. Right now, I'd better ring the cops.
Please?
I had to let them know you were missing. Well, you're not in any form of trouble.
You sure? I hit Mr. Williamson.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand that.
Yeah. Well, he said something. I thought he was having a shot about Mum being in jail. I lost my head. Just lashed out and ran.
You should have come to me, Chris. Whatever happens, you can always come to me.
I was frightened. I couldn't think straight. Things seem to be going a bit haywire lately.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of time to think things over, and I'm sorry for what I did. I realise he probably didn't mean anything by what he said.
Mr. Williamson was trying to help you.
Most of all, I'm sorry for what I put you through, Dad. I didn't mean to give you any more to worry about.
It's all right, mate. I'm glad you're home. Yeah, I think you were right about needing a shower. Go on, I'll ring your mother.
I'll get it. Wentworth Detention Centre, Officer Bennett speaking.
Oh, it's Don Page here, Miss Bennett. I wonder if it's possible to speak to my wife.
It most certainly is not, Mr. Page. Don't you realise what time of night it is? She's probably asleep.
I'm sure she isn't. She couldn't be for worrying about Chris. That's what I want to tell her, that he's home and safe. Can't I just have a brief word with her?
That's impossible. She's already been granted one phone call tonight. She'll be informed of the news in the morning.
Oh, for pity's sake, let her know now. Don't give her another sleepless night. I know she's just lying there worrying.
If I find that your wife is awake when I do my patrols, Mr. Page, I'll give her the news. If not, it can wait till morning. Good night. Some people think that we're just here to carry messages for them. Page?
Yes. Has there been some news about Chris?
Yes, your husband phoned. He's at home and he's all right.
Oh, thank God. Oh, it's such a relief. I was beginning to imagine all sorts of dreadful things might happen to him.
Yes. Well, you can stop all your dramatics now and go to sleep. And maybe the rest of us might be able to get on with our jobs without further interruptions from your husband.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. I appreciate your letting me know.
toast, Chris.
Come off it, Sue. I've had 6 pieces already.
Make it smaller if you want it.
No, thanks. I better leave some room for lunch.
I'll come to school with you, Chris. See Mr. Carter and Mr. Williamson.
Dad, I don't want to go back to school. I couldn't face it now.
Don't be silly. You've got to face it. You can't run away from things.
Look, I'm prepared to go and apologise to Mr. Williamson and face the principal, but I don't want to go back to school. Look, I've been thinking, why can't I work for you? Couldn't you take me on as your apprentice?
It's not a bad idea. I could do with some help. But you
I
can't.
don't care if you don't pay me.
That's not it, mate. I just want you to continue with your schooling.
Please, don't send me back just yet.
All right. It's 2 weeks to the school holidays. You can work with me till then. But you go back to school after the holidays are over.
Fair enough. Won't be so hard then.
Well, you can start today with me if you like. I'm way behind.
I'll work my guts out, Dad. I want to make up for all the trouble I've caused.
Don't be too eager. You may be sorry.
You sure you don't want any more toast?
I reckon there's something wrong, Bea.
Yeah, I know what you mean. She's a bit on the quiet side, isn't she?
And she looks sort of funny.
Something's up for sure. Maybe she had a row with Sid.
Oh, I hope not. They've had such a good time together. It'd be pity if it was spoiled.
Oh, it's probably nothing that can't be mended.
All right, Lizzy, out with it. You can't keep nothing from your mates.
Yeah, come on, we know something's wrong. Had a Barney with Sid, did you? What's the matter, love?
Sid died last night.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lizzy, that's terrible. You poor thing.
It wasn't terrible, love. He just went to sleep. He looked real peaceful. Oh, love.
How's it going?
All right.
Pretty hard yakka. Give it a break from it.
Did you speak to Mum?
Yeah. She was so happy you were back home she couldn't stop crying.
Wish I could see her.
I spoke to Mrs. Morris. She can arrange for me to see her after we finish work today. Do you want to come with me?
I don't know how I'm going to face her, though. She'll be pretty angry at me for giving you more to worry about.
She'll just be glad to see you back, like I was.
I'd better get on with it.
You want a cuppa?
No, I better get this finished first.
Okay.
Oh, Vera. I've got 5 minutes before my shift starts. Will you have a cup of coffee with me?
Yes, if you like. We're going to have to keep a close eye on Birdsworth. Sid Humphrey died last night.
Oh, that's bad luck.
She's probably going to be pretty depressed.
Yeah, I know how she feels.
I don't want to have to keep discussing this.
What are you trying to do to me? I'll beg if you like.
Don't talk nonsense.
Vera, how long are you going to string me along, waiting for an answer?
Staff room. Yes, speaking. Oh, yes, Mr. Douglas. Why, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. You are now looking at the new governor of Barnhurst. Well, aren't you going to congratulate me?
You're going to take the job?
Well, of course I am. It's the most important thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, what about me?
I'm sorry. It's been very hard for me to make a decision about you. You see, I did love you.
Did?
Well, I still do, I guess, in a way. But so many things have come between us. I don't think marriage for us would work.
You bitch! You rotten bitch! You don't care about me. You never did. You're just leaving me on, weren't you?
Leave me alone!
Suppose
Dave, I want to talk to Lizzy about Sid.
Yeah,
She's taken it real well, isn't she?
too bloody well. I reckon it's best to have a good cry and get rid of it, not keep it stored up.
You think that's what Lizzie's doing?
Looks like it. She hasn't shed a tear.
Might have cried all night for all we know.
No, I don't think so. I've seen it happen before. She's sort of gone into herself. I reckon we better stick by her as much as we can.
Yeah, I wonder if she's thought about what it's going to be like when she gets out. I mean, she'll have nobody waiting for her now.
That's right. She's right back to where she used to be.
She didn't even get a chance to live in Sid's house. Not really. Why is it that everything in life has to end up so lousy?
Just the way of the world, I suppose. Don't hope for anything and you won't be disappointed. It's the only way to live.
Bloody stinks. I won't have anybody waiting for me, neither.
What are you complaining about? I don't even know if I'm ever going to get out of here. At least you've got youth on your side. That's what makes you the lucky one, Doreen. What hopes, Lizzy?
Thank you. I'm sorry, Lizzy, where were we?
We were talking about Sid's funeral.
Oh, yes. I've been in contact with Sid's son, Gordon, and he's going to attend to all the details. He indicated he would be coming to see you.
To see me?
Yes, perhaps he realizes, well, people are drawn together at times like this, aren't they?
I'll be able to go to the funeral.
Oh, yes, of course. It will probably be the day after tomorrow.
Thank you, Mrs. Davidson.
Lizzy, you don't have to continue working if you don't want to. Perhaps you'd like a couple of days' rest.
I'm all right. I'd rather work.
All right. If there is anything you want to talk to me about, please don't hesitate to ask. I know what a shock this must have been to you.
Happens to all of us sooner or later.
Yes. Miss Bennett, would you take Birdsworth back now, please?
Could I have a word with you, please, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes, of course. Lizzy, would you mind waiting outside?
She's taking it very calmly.
Well, perhaps it hasn't really hit her yet. Is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, no. I've had some news. Mr. Douglas rang me. I got the position at Barnhurst.
Congratulations, Vera. I'm delighted.
Thank you. I know we've had our differences in the past.
Yes, we have, but I'm certain as fellow governors we'll get along very well. I hope there'll be a lot of cooperation between us.
I'm sure there will be.
And I have no doubt you'll be an excellent governor.
Thank you.
Where's Mr. Fletcher?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Harrison.
Well, you can tell him or the governor I'm taking the rest of the day off.
All right. Mr. Harrison, you forgot to sign the book.
I'm about a week behind on all my jobs. Not going to be easy to catch up.
You might kill yourself, though.
I've got to do everything I can to keep this business afloat. I want it all on an even keel by the time your mother comes home. Join that up and I'll get the cement from the truck. When we finish this, we'll have a cuppa.
Dad! Hey, Jack, call an ambulance. Dad's been hurt.
What the hell do you want?
I've got a friend who wants to meet you.
Ah, get lost.
He used to give me roses I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside, the roses grow. They don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.